guys? I'm fine. I'm fine. Kind of a lot this week, really, with the Creator Camp. I don't know if you all seen the first poster of the Creator Camp gig. It's up. Creator Camp hired me to do three posters. They're doing a film festival on Austin, Texas, and they hit me up so I can make three of the posters that are for the festival. So really pumped to be a part of that project. The first one is already out. Next one I think I'm gonna post tomorrow, and then the last one next week. So yeah, I don't know if you all seen the one from Aidan. That turned out really great. It's a nice, light-hearted, comedy to the style of something like Scott Pilgrim. And yeah, the poster turned out really well. I really liked working with the directors and everything. It was just super cool to be able to do a movie poster because since I've done like a movie poster, and I really wanted to try to do a new one of those, after doing some videos on movie posters. So it turned out really great. Okay, the point of this exercise, guys, let me switch to the point of the exercise was to add the complexity of text to the ones that we were doing weeks before from the compositions with only the simple shapes, and now we are adding not just adding the matter of text, right, but how we can use constant and variables within the blocks of information of text to establish correlation between those elements, right? And let's move into this camera. And I said that when we're working with text, we usually have like this the constant and variables and things that are pertinent to text or to any composition really, but text specifically, because we have the font families, the weights, we have the alignment, kerning, interline spacing, like the justification of the text. All of these variables that we can use to design text can be used to establish rules within our system, right? The assignment here was to create perfectly readable hierarchy in a piece using text, right? Having a very clearly more important stuff, and then the second hierarchy, third hierarchy. Here, it's well done. We know exactly what the first thing is, then the second, then the third, right? And he used image here, but I think this is okay for that premise alone. But the thing with this is that we are not getting those extra levels of hierarchy to really say, oh, here he's establishing like a rule. You know what I mean? Because, for example, in this piece, I'm gonna rasterize it. I'm gonna, for the sake of working only on the composition, and the actions I'm gonna put here. Sorry, guys, because I'm changing the stream all the time because I'm trying to land on the perfect fucking configuration. But for this one specifically, let's drop a threshold just to focus only on the text, you know what I mean? And actually now let's get rid of this image here, because we don't really need it. Right? Ooh, actually this works kind of nice because now we have all this intentional space here that we can use. But regardless, here he's aligning everything to the left, but this one alone, it's sort of it looks like kind of how do you say, like I lost the word. It's just because it's aligned to the center, just because I don't have another hierarchy similar to this to establish maybe some sort of reference that there are other levels in the hierarchy that are also like this. You know what I mean? For example, if I grab this one and I make another one, right, and maybe I drop another one here, and then we can start to see that, oh, okay, it's not just a random block of text that is aligned a little bit more to the center. You know what I mean? There is a certain structure that start to tie the entire piece together. And then maybe from this one, I don't know, maybe this one, it has some, maybe this one, it has this, right? And this gesture alone is sort of highlighting that specific structure within that hierarchy level, right? So we start to establish these sort of rules within our typographic system that says some text is going to be aligned to the left all the way, some in the center, and maybe that separates some kind of information from other bits of information. You know what I mean? And now, for example, maybe we have this, and we have another package of text that's really small, and it's gonna sit like some sort of annotation that's for these ones. You know, the ones that are aligned more towards the center, maybe those ones have, maybe that packages of text that have the aligning more towards the center, they have this kind of annotations, right, that come with that feature as a part of the system. You know what I mean? So with these kind of things, we start to establish the rules, right? Everything looks more systematic now. It's not that kind of random. You know, the ones that are aligned more towards the center have this little bit extra tad of information that is this annotation that we applies to them, right? So maybe, I don't know, let's say this is a show. for sure Messi's gonna do back-to-back work. I don't know, I think he's playing the one next year. Let's hope. Let's focus on design, my guys. But yeah, I was saying maybe to these ones that are aligned a bit more to the middle, maybe for this one specifically, I would make this copy text a bit smaller. Maybe we can make everything a bit smaller. Let's get rid of this. You can see, guys, that I'm using a grid, but it's really, I'm using a grid in a really loose way. You know what I mean? Like what matters here is not the grid itself, but the relationship we establish within that structure for the elements that are within it. Like, what do I even say? You know what I mean? Like, the relationship within the elements is what gives it the grid character, right? It's not just placing stuff within a line. Over a line, you know. This one we could make maybe a bit stronger, and maybe we have another level, like sort of here. And this could mean, I don't know, whatever. Because when that's also one thing, you know what I mean? Like, right now it's kind of easy because we are not trying to arrange any information. We're just putting stuff in a way that looks compelling and that looks purposeful, right? We don't have a set of information that we need to put into this specific structure. We're just playing, you know? So enjoy this, you know what you mean? Because this is easy, right? We're just placing stuff in a way that looks more or less intentional, you know? Right, so there we have another level of the hierarchy, right? These words right here, that here I'm just using the same word for the sake of practicity, but for the sake of making it practical. But maybe this one, it's gonna be how can I make it? Let's do filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Right, maybe that one, it's on bold, so it brings attention within that structure of the hierarchy. Within that level of hierarchy, we have an accent, right? That's a variable, right? That breaks the constant of that specific hierarchy level. Like, And I know, guys, this sounds like really technical and really out there, but it's really not. Like, these are just simple design criteria for you to think about. And when you start to practice them, you really start to catch up, and it becomes like second nature. It's not like you're thinking about this. This is more for systematic stuff that's a bit bolder, right? It's for bigger projects. But this also works within the scope of your work itself, right? Like the series and your work as a corpus, or your bigger picture, like body of work. You know what I mean? So this would be like a version of the piece that the the from bro. You know what I mean? I don't know how to speak. Sorry. So we went from this to this. You know what I mean? We added more levels to the hierarchy and organized them in a way that reference them again. You know, so we can see that's a hierarchy, and that's a systematic thing, right? It's not just like aligning things to a certain part of the grid just because and just as one time, you know. This one's amazing. I really like this piece because it has a lot of hierarchy levels. One thing that I would maybe add to it, right? Because let's say, I don't know, one of this could easily be like a music festival or a rave or something like that. I don't know, like this is just random text. It looks like it, but let's say, okay, this is the date, the where, the when, the who, and the why, right? So maybe the bands. This is the bands, right? And maybe the bands go like this, right? Or no, like this. Something like that. And maybe this one is the headliner. It's gonna be the most important one. So this one we break from the mold, right? From to this one we make something special and we align it to other part of the grid. Maybe this thing, right? And here we establish some sort of variable to the grid that's signaling to the one watching the design that there's something important, right? Other than the from the outside hierarchy, you know, because we have already the most important thing is the title of the poster, right? What's the poster about? But within that hierarchy, the lowest hierarchy, it's not the lowest, sorry, but within the hierarchy itself of the people that are playing on the festival, we have ways of signaling within that hierarchy what's important and what not, right? And it doesn't have to be like putting it in a vibrant color or underlining it or anything. We do it with composition. You know what I mean? So this would be like my thing with this one. This is amazing. This is such a great piece. Super simple, but you can see how the structure like puts it together really nicely, and how it's really readable. Like the hierarchy levels, are so clear and so well managed that it gives you this like sort of uh, it's like visual ASMR, how ASMR, sorry. uh, I had it easier like in Spanish, ASMR, but ASMR, because it's so cohesive and the colors go really well together. This is a great piece. This printed would go so hard. Like it looks like the cover of a really niche Japanese design magazine, something like that. I really like it. This one from Bro, from I forget the name. It's Consumed by Instinct, one of the Patreons. This one's a real G, an OG. Sorry, everyone's real G, but he's been here quite a while. And yeah, this is great. This works. It has the hierarchies. It has the. Let me drop let me duplicate this into, I'm gonna drop like a threshold over everything just to get a clearer view of this, so I can more easily like play around with it, you know what I mean? So this one's great. This one's great. One thing that I would maybe change about it is that, for example, out of line. Okay, this is all random stuff. Let's not forget about it, because I see the out of line and I see the date, and the date is a thing that there's where you have to use like your common sense, you know what I mean? Because numbers are not the same as letters, and maybe this is the same hierarchy level, right? But the numbers by themselves, your brain, just because they are numbers, is gonna put it on a different like hierarchy, you know, that if they were letters. Like maybe let's try, maybe if I grab this, what happens if I make it bigger like this, right? Here we have pretty balanced. This one I like. No, that's more of a personal taste thing. I don't see that's a line. I don't know, it's supposed to be like, yeah, that's a line. Yeah, there is something odd here with the counter shape of the letters. Let me show you something really quick. Let's do solid color white. And he justified it to the right. Make it better, make it bolder, and let's close the interline. And here there is no really, you can optically and you can like mathematically sort of adjust the interspace and the kerning between the letters, but one rule of thumb is you need to look at the space between the letters and see if it's constant, like between each of the letters. You know what I mean? It's something that you need to adjust your eyes for it. For example, you see the space between the D, the negative space within the D. Like if I press Alt and with the arrows, I can move the specific interline within the block of text itself, right? And like that I can begin to adjust letter by letter till it looks right, you know what I mean? This is something you need to play with to really get the hang of it. Yeah, I'll show you how to. Here T-Bubble is asking, how do you usually feel or make up words when you want to design shit from scratch? Any tips? Usually when I want to design things from scratch, I have an idea for the poster. If I want to just make a composition, I'll use ChatGPT. Like make me filler text for a poster in the style of Lorem Ipsum, and I said like a topic. Make me filler text about, I don't know, philosophy or some book or whatever, right? That's if I want to, let's say I want to make just filler words for a composition that I want to make because I want to try something, and it's not that I have a really specific idea for it. But sorry, let's go back to what I was trying to explain to you. Like to adjust the spacing between the characters, if you press Alt and then with the arrows, you can move individually, right, from letter to letter. And this is not like exact science. Like you need to gauge it and use your sort of intuition to tell if the spacing between the letters is correct, at least for the for the kind of size you're going. Here in this specific word, the space between the S and the T, if the letters don't collapse, you can see it's really, if I leave it without the letters collapsing, you can see the space is too big in comparison to the other letters. So what do? I can just, I can maybe bring the S in to match the counter shape of the other letters, or I can push it out and then go to the other letters and also push them out. You know what I mean? And this way it starts to look a bit more balanced, you know? So check at the shapes and counter shapes of your text so it looks more balanced, right? It looks like the text is, it's more balanced to the eye. So you don't have stuff like this. For example, you have this one that's really close, this one's even closer just for no reason. Maybe when you download a free typeface, these things don't come like really dialed in, you know what I mean? Great typography, you know, that type that when you look at it you go like, oh, you can't tell what it is that makes you go like that. Is this, like, it's so locked in, you know, the shapes and counter shapes, the balance within the typography, like this is the work, right? That looks really like it's just the spacing, but this is what makes typography have that really like wholesome effect, you know what I mean? So actually, let me show you. Do you see a poster? This text is just so I lost the chat. This text, the thing that it has for it, like the typography is just a type that I used, and I just morphed it a bit to give it that shape, but the space between the letters themselves was fucked. The typography was a free one. Actually, it's the one that I used for my logo, but I modified it, right? I gave it that wave like effect, and also played a lot. For example, you see this T here, this thing here, this was a bit shorter, and the W go all the way to the top, and I cropped it, and I make that space between the lip of the T and the W where it got, like to match the rhythm of all the other counter shapes in the logo. You know what I mean? Here the R is actually stretched, so this like finished in the top part or the R matches the indentation here the A has, right? And I could do that because I play with it when it was in the wave form, so you don't notice it that much here. But if the type was horizontal, you would see the R being bigger, and it would kind of like break the logo. But in this context, it works like really well, really. But all the work that this typography has is that it's really tight and it's really well balanced. You know what I mean? So it's not that you need to be a really crazy typographer or anything like that. You just need to pay attention to the forms the letter form. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe when you're working with something like this, you just type it out, and straight from the text editor it comes like this. I don't know. It happens that some typographies, they don't have the interletter alignment like super great, and it just looks like whatever, right? So you come in and pressing Alt with the arrows, you adjust it by hand, you know, and it tends to look much better. You see this part, the S and the T, it's breaking my head because everything I do, it looks too far. And like this, I don't really vibe with it. It works better like this, you know. And also you need to look at it from afar. One thing that you can do also, sort of squint your eyes so you see like the blur of text, and that also helps to see it like as like a more like an entire unit, you know. Yeah. Right now we're trying to focus on just the proper composition and all of that, you know what I mean? But you know for sure we're gonna apply some paper texture to this beach. Like that. You see? Can you tell it? Like it looks a lot tighter, you know what I mean? And also we're gonna adjust the vertical so it matches the spacing we have. Like that. Oh, it was actually the same typography. Or no? No, I guess not. Let's change it to red. Oh. Ah, stand at. Stand out. Ah, okay, está bien. It's okay what I. Okay, he has like this shape here that adds kind of a lot. But you see the difference? Can you see the difference? Here in mine, the O, it's kind of more like that. It's better. But can you see, guys, that mine looks more tighter, like the text itself? I'm not saying it's better, but the type itself, it's better. It's not a matter of contrast. I think the contrast is kind of the same for both. I'm just talking about the feeling you get from watching the text alone, right? The spacing between the characters. Yes, I think it's a bit more balanced in mine. Like that is better. But yeah, regardless, what I'm trying to say is that pay attention to that also. Like for example, in this one, you see where the U and the T are really, really close together, but almost touching, but not really touching. Like pay attention to that and in how it and pay attention to that and how it feels. So, uh, apart from that, yeah, he has really nice and really clear hierarchy levels. Works amazing. I like that you see, guys, this what I was saying. He made like a text, like a all right, like full blown paragraph text, and with the bold, it's bringing within that hierarchy level the the accent, right? Where he's saying, oh, and within this hierarchy, this is important. You know what I mean? Like within in the context of the poster, what's important, of course, it's the title, right? But again, within the hierarchies themselves, you can say, oh, and within this hierarchy, this is important. Saludos desde Chile. Gracias, amigo. Saludos, Argentina. Okay, moving back to this. Yeah, this is great. I like this is the maybe for example, if we could grab maybe this and we had another like paragraphs of something, right? But maybe this one it's a bit more up to here. Here I'm just doing it really quick, guys, just to to try if we added like some other. Here I might have gone overboard. The original was much more controlled, but I'm trying just to add some semblance of repetition within the hierarchy levels to sort of show that this is a level of information that is gonna repeat elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like it's not just a one-off within the system itself. Like it's some sort of, I don't know, like just one thing that appears once, right? Like, and this is just for the sake of the exercise, guys. Like, of course you can do whatever you want when you're doing a poster, when you're doing any sort of piece, but for the sake of the exercise, it's nice if you try to add that, for example, from your title. From your title, maybe, of course, the title appears only one, and then the second hierarchy level maybe appears 2 times or 3 times, and then the fourth one appears 6 times. You know what I mean? And I'll show you when I make my piece, so try to show you that better. But okay, we have this one. Looks great. I'm gonna put all this within a conversation. This one's really great because, do you remember, guys, the first that I did? Like, let's say we don't have this one. Right? The first one that we did, that was this one. You see how he has, there are 2 of these packages of text are aligned to the left, and one is just like hanging in the middle, like just chilling there, right? But here he has 2 of each, so we are able to correlate that. Oh, okay, this like this specific combination of the variables of text, I have it in other place as well, so that could mean something, right, of the information that we are giving, right? Maybe it's another level, or it's for other kind of information, right? And since it's right aligned, like you could put it anywhere really, and you wouldn't confuse it for another level. That it doesn't create that sort of confusion, let's say, or you can see it as that's okay that it goes aligned to the left and in another like corridor of the grid, let's say. Like I could put this like here, for example, it would also work, and I could put maybe some of these levels, put it, I don't know, here, and it would kind of work also, you know. Maybe to this one, maybe I would make these blocks of text just for the sake of this poster alone. Or make them shorter. Oh no, let's leave that as it is. Just to add some variety to the composition itself. And another thing that I liked is that these paragraphs that are like justified, like on the hierarchy level, like the width of the column is not within the system itself. Like the thing that's systematic, it's that is justified all the way through. Like you could make another block of this text that is the entire width of the poster and would still remain to that piece of, maybe not hierarchy, but to that level of information. You know what I mean? Because it's justified the entire way. So that constant between the within the text design elements like remains constant, right? For example, here when I'm trying to come up with just filler text for this kind of exercises, I would say something like, I'm like trying to actually explain to make a composite. I need filler text in the style of Lorem Ipsum, but with more character. Can you give me a list of titles, short paragraphs, subtitles, annotations, captions, and list of words around the concept of, I don't know, let's do whatever, like matrix and the simulation. You see, and here we have everything. Of course, guys, this is an absolute shortcut for this kind of exercise. I wouldn't recommend to do this on the daily because it's gonna replace your own thinking. You know what I mean? Like, this is a shortcut that can be really expensive for you in the long run, right? Like, for the sake of this exercise, it's handy and whatnot, but I would really try to come up with, if you're trying to make like a full-blown piece and really care about it, you know, and work on it, like, this is the thing that you should be working in, you know what I mean? Not letting an AI like sort of spew it for you. We are letting it do this now because this is not the focus of the exercise now, you know what I mean? Because also, if you already have your own ideas and whatnot, it's easier to prompt it and to see what is good and what's not. Right now, I'm not paying attention to what it says. Like, I'm just one text to copy and paste, you know what I mean? But if you have your own criteria, then it will be easier for you to realize from what it says here if anything it's of use to you or not. You know, you're not just brainlessly just copying and pasting, right? Now we're gonna do it because we're not focusing on the words. I just want them to as placeholder, but I don't want to use lorem ipsum, you know what I mean? So now let's grab whatever awakening the code. Let's put it here. Let's grab this paragraph. Let's put it here. Right, and first let's go to our poster and and let's say, if I go back to, where was my chat GPT window? Here, captions, simulacrum. I like simulacrum. There's a book that's called Simulacra and Simulacrum. It's the book that, you know, when they go to look for Neo before going to the club in the Matrix, that Trinity says to him, follow the white rabbit. He opens like a book and gives the disc to the dudes that were hiring Neo, you know, because he was a hacker. The book he opens, it's called Simulacra and Simulacrum, and I haven't read it still, but I have it on my list. And it's a book about the simulation and whatnot, but it's the one that it's one that the directors of the Matrix read, and it's supposed to be like a really great book on that subject. Cool, like trivia, so you could drop on a party. Mm, Actually, let's work the entirety of the text in here. Simulacra and simulacra and simulacrum. And here I'm just trying to just develop all the like the hierarchy levels in a way that you can see it a bit more clearly, you know what I mean, when I'm talking about the variables and all of that. And this one here, color right there, because I haven't like set up the proper Illustrator scene. So here let's watch some typography. This one I like. Let's bring the interline. Simulacrum. Sorry to bother. May I know if you also rate viewers Pinterest? No, no, no. I don't rate viewers Pinterest. And I here I'm not rating. I'm just giving feedback on a series of exercises that we're doing over on the Discord channel. You know, my guy. Oh, this one is nice. I didn't mean to sort of start playing with typography like this, but it is what it is. Sometimes you get carried away and you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, this I like. It doesn't matter. I'm getting carried away. Like I was trying to start to see if it meant what it meant, if you could read simulacra and simulacrum, but it doesn't matter, like I just said to you. Oh no, what are my layers? No. There. It kind of went away. Super odd. So this will be our title or our main stuff, you know. We can play with it later. And then we could add like some kind of subtitles, or we could try to make another level of within the hierarchy. I like this typography. Let's set it to bold. This one let's set to Helvetica. Something quick. This one thing that you can do to sort of use someone was asking in the chat how you can use the golden ratio. The golden ratio was 13.4. So one thing you can do, let me see if I'm remembering this correctly. Yeah, but that's in inches, right? Or what's the metric for that? What is point? Oh, it's the golden ratio. I thought they were related. I thought that pi. No. It's mathematics. It's not like metric. It's just the plain number. I got confused. I remember. I don't know why I thought that pi and the golden ratio were related. Like I don't know why. Yeah. One thing that you can do is that, for example, let's say we have our text that's in, let's make it 80 point, let's say, and we want to make and we can divide it. Yeah. Pi is the circumference of the circle. Like it has nothing to do. I can misconstrue the terms. Yeah. So one thing you can do here is you go to the text, like your point size for your typography, and you go slash one, you go slash 1.618, right? And that divides it for the golden ratio. So that is how you scale text based on the golden ratio. You just go to the point text and slash 1.618, right? And if I go again, slash 1.618, right? And maybe this could be the size of our other text, right? So maybe we can do, I'm doing it really ghetto right now, right? And if I want to get the smaller kind of text, I want to shrink it through the golden ratio. I go slash again slash 1.618, 1.618, right? And it can go again. Slash 1.618. And this is 12. So this I can, it's already on 12. So how's it going, my guy? Yeah, we're just playing. So let's say this, that for this level of the hierarchy, we're gonna use these paragraphs, and we are gonna justify them to the left, and the title, the titles of this are gonna be linked because they're gonna be aligned, right? So this is the way we're gonna use for this specific block within the hierarchy to link the title with the content, right? Actually, I don't know what I'm putting into Photoshop. Like, I could just design it here and that's it, you know what I mean? Right, so the system is gonna be like this. Now let's take this to Photoshop. Oh, here the composition is a bit different because the size of the poster was a bit off. So let's grab this. I like a bit more this negative space that we have here. Yeah, textures are, but you see the piece already works. It's already pleasing to see, and now we can add texture and whatnot, and not even texture. Like, take a look at this, guys. If we just grab just one color, right, something like this, the piece already changes like pretty tremendously. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get rid of these whites. Right, the piece here already changes pretty drastically. Let me see what was the image size. No, this is too small. We need to make it bigger because I'm gonna apply my action here and it's gonna break it. If I give this Oh yes, my guy, you're using. I'm using that action too much in every piece I made last month. That's great because the Patreons are being the test driver for that action. I'm glad it's when I release the full pack, it's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? Full pack is gonna be crazy. I think it works better like this, to be honest. And just for the sake of this, my guys, let's say, just for the sake of the poster, you know what I mean? I'm gonna grab just one from the. This is the assembly graphics pack. Oh no, what did I open? This is the master sheet with everything. Here I'm cheating now. I'm adding more levels but using images. That images by themselves tend to be more pregnant. Pregnant in the pregnant. In Spanish it says pregnante, but in English I'm not sure what's the. Let's ask our bro. Uh, like pressing. It's like pressing or argent. Like images tend to be a bit more pressing than text. Like we tend to go more towards images. I feel like my impression is that. This piece. Now I'm just painting on the layer below of the graphic just to separate it from the dude, but at the same time doing an accent, you know what I mean? If it was all just white, all just the lines, then it's the same in the entire graphic, you know. But it's the same concept as with the text. If to the cable I'm doing a background and I'm painting it with white, then that's a variable within the constant of the drawing itself, right? It's all line work, but the cable header it's painted, so that means it's important, you know. But of course, here I'm making it for the sake of the composition, because I know it will be interesting, right? The difficult part becomes starts when I try to give it meaning, right? When I try to have an idea and make a piece that's trying to communicate something, that is when things get a bit more difficult, right? Once you start to get the hang of some semblance of visual like language to make things that look interesting, it's easy, you know. Do this for enough time and it becomes like second nature. The problem, and not the problem really, but the thing that it really takes time, and not just time, but doing the active taking the active time to sort of think of what you're trying to say and what your piece is trying to communicate. There is when it becomes not so easy to make something interesting, you know what I mean? And we break it even more because everything is perpendicular, everything is perfectly aligned, you know. And then if we take this and we make it boom, it becomes even more pregnant, more pressing, sorry, like that. Boom. And just like that, my guys, just like that. And I know I cheated, I used an image, but that's because I suck at design and I couldn't make it with just text. Some of you in the Discord, you made wonderful stuff with only text. Like, you had the one up on me, my guys. Like, if I can make this shit and you can make something more interesting with just text, I had to use an image. Then you have it in you, my guys. What can I say? You're pure breed ninjas, you know what I mean? So, what was I about to do? Oh yeah, gradient map and texture. I wasn't about to experiment. I was. I'm just gonna do. I'm gonna do my trick. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do my thing. Oh, guys, and I have some textures to show you that this one the patrons are gonna get first, of course, but I'll release a free pack for this. You know how it is. I won't ever try to not give stuff for free, but bro got it, you know what I mean? Where was it? Oh yeah, Jap Japanese Japanese textures. This one is one I just took like with the cell phone, but I'm gonna scan this like properly. Boom. And actually, let's take it here. And also, let's drop a gradient map because why not? No, there, boom, boom, boom. This one, and I think I told you this in the last stream. Like gradient maps in soft light just hit different, you know. Now, why is it that there? Boom, my guys. Sub brosker. Here we have it. Here we have it. I almost lost it, eh? I almost lost it. I almost lost it. At the middle of it, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if this is working. If there, bro is asking if there is a tutorial for the emboss effect. I'm gonna kill you guys. I'm gonna kill guys. Bro is asking if there's a tutorial. We are live. Come watch this one, my guy. Realistic 3D emboss effect. Here you have it, literally. And of course, supports, if you already follow, you know what it is. Okay, back to the piece. I think this is it, my guys. There is not really that much that we can do. Let me get rid of this. I'm gonna put it in a group, and I'm gonna play with the opacity in the group. That works. And one thing that I like to do is let's put all of this within a group, and let's bring another texture. Where was it? Paper. Oh no, you know what? Let's do like a mask, and on the mask I already told you guys. This is from the acid brush, the tutorial. Let's grab some acid brushes. You have the free acid brush pack on the website. You already know how it is. Let's grab this one. Let's paint with black so we can hide stuff. Oh shit. Why isn't it hiding? What am I doing wrong? It should hide stuff, not show stuff. What am I doing wrong, guys? Oh, because the background is here too. So if I take the background, what am I doing? There. Now. Yes. But let's do this, but let's do with far less opacity, like 13%. And you see now, if I do click, you get that really nice click. You get that really nice, like, sort of distressed. So Really subtle with the textures. And then we have it, my guys. Boom. It's finished. That's good, gang. What? Who here is from? Anyone here that's from New York or close to New York or from Texas? Let's go. Let's go, my guy. I want to see you all trying the shit that you saw me do or that I sort of talked about. Art and Fear, the book that I always tell you, like I recommend this book to everybody. Like it says something that's really powerful, that the only artists that exist are the ones that keep doing art, because art and design also are performatic endeavors. To be a designer and an artist, you need to make art and you need to keep making art, right? The act of being an artist is how you show up again to do your next piece of work, right? That's the life, right? I feel like that's it. See you later. You already know how it fucking is. Fuck peace. Wish you conflict. Shit.